Hey everybody, Al Puglisi Trains, and again for 2025 I'm at the Harrisburg O Narrow Summer Meet. It's narrow gauge O scale, ON 30, ON 18, narrow gauge O scale, and Al Judy, who was a fabulous model railroader who passed away, started this show, and it's grown in size, and he was just a fantastic modeler, and he spent considerable time with me a year ago or two. I believe it was maybe 2 years ago at the show. I can't remember. Time flies when you get to be my age. But before he passed away, we met at the show, and he spent a tremendous amount of time with me, introducing me to people and helping me with my channel. And he will be greatly missed by all of us in the hobby. He was just a fabulous person. And if you want to see his workshop or you want to see his model railroad, go to my playlist on my channel and you can see a visit to Al Judy's layout. And if you go to my playlist, there's also an area on the playlist on day in the shop or shop visits, and you can see Al Judy's incredible shop. But let me stop talking, let's go inside, and let me show you some highlights for those of you that can't make it this year to the show. Well, here's an overview, folks. A lot of different vendors, a lot of clinics. There's some modular layouts here, and it's all ON 30, ON 18, narrow gauge O scale. And it's a niche show, but it's an excellent show. And let me show you a lot of the micro layouts that are on display. So let's go start taking a look at some of them. And micro layouts are small layouts. They are typically can be anywhere from maybe 16, 18 inches, 20 inches wide. They don't have to take up a lot of room. That's the beauty of it. And these things are oftentimes battery powered by dead rail, and you don't need a tremendous amount of space to enjoy model railroading. Gold in them hills. Just really interesting, beautiful, neat little displays. Again, a lot of them are battery powered. And they're just exquisite. And you can build lots of these. Put one in every room or give them as gifts. Absolutely beautiful. And they're talking about ON 18, which is O scale, writing on 18-inch gauge rail. And the sky's the limit on this stuff. Just exquisite modeling. Again, here's one that's probably, maybe 14 inches by maybe 24 inches. If that. Very small, super detailed. One can make dioramas and super detail them and have a beautiful little artistic venue. And you can link them together and make bigger ones. Build one small one at a time, like a modular layout, for example. This is probably 10 by 10 inches. And it just shows you the level of detail that one can do. And again, you can be in a nursing home, you can be in a tiny apartment. You don't need a tremendous amount of space to enjoy model railroading. And it's just exquisite. And there's some information on this. Tom Bowdler's Pumpkinwood Products. And a website. And again, just beautiful beautiful models. Here's a micro with some more switching action that doesn't just go around in a circle. You can deliver log cars to the different spurs, and you can move the log cars around from one area to the next. And again, just beautiful modeling here, folks. This is just gorgeous. And again, the size of this, I'm guessing, is about maybe, I would say, 22 inches, maybe 20 inches by maybe 28 or 30 inches. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Beautiful, beautiful work. Unfortunately, the fellow that built this isn't here. I don't see a tag with a name. I'd love to talk to them. You can put as little detail or as much detail as you want into these models. And this is built on a foam base, so it's very lightweight. Pick it up and take it anywhere with you. And there's another locomotive that I believe would run on this. The detail in this tractor is just exquisite. This tractor could be in a contest in its own right. Man. Flag has the appearance of it waving as a shadow from the distance. And this is just an interesting way to display a single structure if you wanted to display a single structure in a diorama, or just create a scene. This scene here looks to be maybe 15 by 10 inches, just a scenic scene to practice scenery, to learn scenery, to hone your skills on scenery. And I'd interview more people about these, but it's around lunchtime and a lot of folks are not with their models, so I can at least bring you their beautiful work. Tom Grabenstein built this, folks, and this is breathtaking, and they're going to look for him. He's not here, but they're going to look for him because, quite frankly, I'd love to talk to him, and he could tell us how he built this. And I'm guessing this thing is about maybe 42 inches by, about maybe 42, but by 30, but we found Tom, so let's talk to him. Folks, it's Doc Tom, and you built this incredible module. This is, tell us about it.
Well, it's 1920s Haiti.
Okay.
And on the left side is Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Okay.
And on the right side is Leodon, Haiti. And I've worked in Haiti for 31 years.
Wow.
Doing medical work.
Okay.
And kind of fell in love with the people in the place and decided to build a model railroad of it. And it was my first foray into ON30.
Oh my God, now did you come from HO or another scale?
Yes, HO.
Okay. And folks, this is ON30, so essentially it's O scale that can run on HO gauge track.
Right.
And this whole thing is scratch built, obviously.
That's correct. In fact, I took track from our HO club layout that was old and used, and just removed every other tie to make it look like a narrow gauge rail.
That's a good trick. I didn't know that.
It's a cheap trick.
Yes. And the size, I guess, is this about 40?
This is 30 inches by 45.
Okay, 30 by 45.
Yeah. It's made on 2-inch foam, insulation foam.
It's spectacular. Now, are this is actual places you've been?
Yeah. In fact, I had a lot of fun. I took some black and white pictures of the Port-au-Prince area. And when I went back for one of our trips, I got my interpreters together and I showed it to them, the pictures. And I asked them, I said, where is this in Port-au-Prince? And they started arguing. Some said it's down by the sea. Some people said it was in the center of town. Some know something about the railroad.
This is absolutely beautifully done. Look at this signal tower. It almost looks like a hut.
That little guy on the road there, that's what's called a glass or glaze cellar. It's ice, and they crush up ice and they put it in a cup and then they put syrup on it.
Is that right here?
Yeah, right in the front there. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I might get you to speak a little loud because the mic.
The noise.
Yeah, the noise. But this is. Oh my Lord! It's I can't contain myself. A lot of people tell me, "Hey, look, stop talking," but I can't because it's just so well done. And they're hauling what, bamboo?
Sugarcane.
Sugarcane.
Yeah, and the sugarcane fields are on the other side.
Okay.
And they'll take it to the mill here. This is the Haitian American Sugar Company. It was half owned by American industrialists in the 1920s. It actually was where the cane was turned into sugar.
And these huts up here? Or?
That's what Port-au-Prince looks like. They build houses right on the edge of the mountains and right on the edge of hills. And any area that's open, like this guy here, he's building, he's starting one. This
should be in the contest. This is just breathtaking.
Thank you.
I really do. And again, folks, you don't need a lot of space. So this is about, you say, 30 by 45?
30 by 45, and that's the fun thing about mini layouts is you can build the whole thing.
Right.
And you can pack as much detail in it as you want.
Right.
And unlike a basement empire, which takes years, you can do all this in a year or two.
A lot of people get burned out building layouts because they're trying to finish a giant basement.
Correct.
They get upset, and I'm like, it's always best to start small.
And this was my very first Owen 30 layout.
And it's spectacular. And you can always put these together, make one, spend how many years you want to spend on one, or how much time, and then do another and another and another.
That's correct.
And you could almost modularly design them at a later point and link them together if you wanted to.
Right.
But it's the feeling of satisfaction that look what you've accomplished, and you live long enough to see it.
That's right.
So many folks have bit off more than they can chew.
In all the model railroad clubs I'm in, is so many people that die, and their wives bring in all the stuff from the layout that was never finished.
Yeah. And we've all had that issue. When I was a teenager, I was 13 in 73, and my dad gave me the whole basement. And I bit off more than I could chew, and I was always upset that nothing looked finished.
Right.
And if I had just concentrated on a little, maybe 4 by 2 foot or 3 by 2 foot or something, wow, look what I did. It's done. Now on the other side, I'm going to go around on the other side here. Again, this signal, is that a signal tower?
No, that's this building right here?
Yeah.
That's a house.
That's a house?
Yeah, that's what they look like.
That's really cool, though.
Porch, it's because of the heat. They have a big shaded porch to help cool the air.
And this building here?
That's a business, and down below is a store called T Negla, which is Haitian Creole for the little guy, a little store. And these doors open up, and you can see what they're selling inside.
Oh, let's see. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, there's a bed there. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And this is a 1920s poster I got off the internet of a cruise ship that went to Haiti.
Wow. We'll go about. Now the palm trees, are they 3D printed, or what are the palm trees?
These I made myself. There are stuff you buy at Michael's, and I just cut them with scissors. And then those are
plants, artificial plants or something?
Yeah, the artificial plants and leaves, and I cut them up, pipe cleaners. That's it. They're twirl pipe cleaners for the trunks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then these are commercially purchased. They're making these now, and they're pretty cheap.
How about this guy? This guy looks real. Is that a plant trunk or?
No, that's one. It's again like these, except the leaves are falling off.
Wow. And this is conventionally powered. It's not battery powered.
This is right. This is a DCC setup. It's basically 2 wires coming off to my little Digitrack Zephyr.
Okay. Wow, look at this.
There's the sugar cane.
This is the sugar cane.
Yeah.
Now, how did you make the sugar cane?
Those were purchased. As I've gotten older and realized I don't have all the time in the world, and I've got another big Owen 30 layout that I work on a lot, I just purchased these.
Wow.
They're made in Vietnam.
And they're
fairly cheap too. That right there is a replica of a place I visited in Haiti.
This building here.
It's called a Clarin Works, C-L-A-R-I-N, which is it's rot gut rum. It's what we would call moonshine.
Yeah, look at that.
And we got a guy here. They're cranking the sugar cane and getting the juice out of it.
Wow.
And then they boil it, and then they ferment it. And I was offered a drink, and I politely declined.
Right. You don't want to go blind.
I didn't want to go blind. Right. And then just for a sense of humor, I put a Catholic church across the path from it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
A friend of mine, he's a priest in Haiti, and he has a chapel out in the mountains that looks just like that. He sent me pictures of it, so
wow.
I did it.
We don't know how good we have it here, you know?
Oh,
We're so spoiled here.
Yes.
And this structure here.
That's an open-air engine house. That really existed in Leogon, Haiti. That's where they worked on the locomotives.
Okay.
And this is supposed to be a European steam engine that just wasn't as good as an American-made Porter. So
wow.
Look where it ended up.
Wow.
They just pushed it into the ocean.
And here's some flowering plants.
Bougainvillea is the tropical flowers. That's what they're supposed to represent. These are banana plants.
Again, this is, in my opinion, this is absolutely tremendous.
Thank you very much.
It really, I could sit here for 3 hours and study this.
Well, that's again the fun of a micro lab. You can pack so much detail into them. It's just amazing.
Right. This, I've never. Tom, I really appreciate you spending time with me.
Thank you.
Well, a fellow that does this one isn't here, but this is another micro with siding, and it is a spectacular micro. I would say this is probably maybe 27 by maybe 30, 32 inches. ON, this looks like ON 18. Just exquisite. This one looks to be about 2 by 2 feet. You've got a house being framed up in the corner. And the quality of modeling here, folks, that I'm seeing is just exquisite. And again, even if you don't want to build a micro, you can hone your skills on a micro.
Okay. So I'll never see that, what you're saying. Not unless you come camping. That's fair enough.
Folks, Andy Root is a subscriber, and he came over about a year ago and purchased a firehouse, I think. And then he came over again to attend this show, and I walked by this, and I thought this was the fellow in what's his name, Mesa? He's a big YouTuber.
Dave Meeks.
Yeah, I thought it was his. And I didn't really I didn't take a real close look. I like this gopher here, man. Is that a gopher or a badger? It's a gopher? This is great. And this is Andy. How you doing, Andy?
All right, you?
Good, good. Tell us about this.
I watched too much Dave Meek's Thunder Mesa on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
And I got interested in this, so January I started on this, and this is kind of what I ended up with.
And
I got really interested in the Southwest Railroad.
Right.
And the Owen 18 narrow gauge.
Hey everyone, just a reminder that the Happy Dog food truck is
Wow.
still out there in the parking lot to the right. They will be out there until 3 p.m., so you have about another hour. And then if you're staying tonight for the dinner,
And as soon as this announcement's over, I'm going to talk to Andy more.
Thank you.
Andy, how big is this thing?
2 foot by 4 foot.
2 foot by 4 foot. And is it dead rail or no? It's conventional power.
Conventional power. DC.
And did you scratch build the rolling stock in the engine here, or?
The engine was a JT on a Takeda 11-109.
Uh-huh.
I put together the 2 cars. Those are Calvin Witt models.
Okay.
I put together. The caboose is my design, my build.
Uh-huh. You showed how
Everything on here is more or less scratch built.
you showed Howard some pictures of this yesterday at the house.
Yes.
Yeah, Howard Zane would say, "Oh, Andy's not gonna buy anything. He's building better stuff. You know, he's building these incredible things that are absolutely." Howard saw this. I think you showed him some pictures, and I had to. Howard, this thing looks fabulous in person. Are those individual wood shingles?
They're in strips, high laser cut.
Uh-huh.
They're cut out of real wood.
They're real wood. Okay, they look it. And this little guy here, is that a kit or?
That's a 3D print that I printed out.
Oh wow.
I think the file came from England, maybe. I just finished him. The box car and the flat car are my design and my build.
Okay. And the cactuses, are they, did you 3D those? Or?
They're 3D print, plus I took some and they look like this originally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take and cut them off and I put more arms on them.
Wow. You could put little thorns on them and get people to, if they touch it.
These actually take a cactus before it gets arms on it is 60 years old.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I started researching it.
Wow. So it was Thunder Mesa that
Thunder
inspired
Mesa
you.
inspired me, yes.
And yes, Thunder Mesa, I've seen your YouTubes, they're fabulous. And that's what I thought this was. Again, I didn't know, I didn't see you sitting here. And I was going to...
That's where I got my idea from, so.
Wow. Now tell us about your friend, the groundhog here. Is there any story behind him?
I just came up with the name of Gopher Canyon.
Okay.
And we were in Hobby Lobby one day and my girlfriend saw that and
Wow.
thought I needed it, so I put it on.
It came with the hat on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a piece of artwork.
Wow.
I just hung it on there, so.
I love it. You know, they could be the mascot. You can actually shrink that down and put it on the tender on the side, or you know, it's really cool. But
I can probably scan that and laser cut, engrave it into a piece of wood. Yeah.
wow. Well, Andy, I'm gonna. Hey, thanks for taking time to show us this.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wait a minute. I didn't notice this covered.
Oh. Yeah, I did that to cover the weights I put in it.
Uh-oh.
It's made out of coffee filters.
Wow.
I guess we're still running out there, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming around.
Well, folks, I want to show you some of these exquisite models that Les here has at his table. How you doing, Les?
Oh, how are you?
Good. And why don't you go ahead and just tell me what you want about these. These are just absolutely exquisite.
So most of these are fabricated. There are only one set that has actually been printed, and it is vintage even to itself.
Okay.
These are Bachmann based or not. They're based on locomotives that I've seen or taken pictures of, and they're hand painted and crafted using Bachmann parts or whatever parts I happen to make.
Now, are these brass or Bachmann?
These are Bachmann HO locomotives, Mantuas.
Really?
This is a Bachmann HO locomotive and frame mechanism. This is a Bachmann locomotive and modified.
Right.
This one has a Bachmann bus frame.
Okay.
This has a Bachmann locomotive motor in it.
And just incredibly scratch built. Did you do all of these yourself?
Yes.
Or
These are all made by.
Each one of these, in my opinion, is contest quality. I mean,
there are many of them that have already shown up in contests.
And
one contest. Yes.
These are just stunning. This one here, I almost needed smelling sauce because this thing is spectacular.
The one you're looking at is a Precision Craft Goose-based model that has a die-cast truck on it and a Bachmann modified Combine body over the top. So it's all based on the Precision Craft ON30 Goose.
This is spectacular. They're all spectacular. And again, this one is I guess a Bachmann Combine.
This is the Bachmann Combine with a military model's 1/35th scale truck body on the front.
Man. Now, are these powered or not?
They're all powered.
They're all powered. Are they dead rail powered or just DCC?
DCC.
Okay. Folks, these are, I can't tell you how impressed I am with these. Les, these are just, they're incredible. This one here, let's just.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prototype or just
prototype? I built it from pictures and drawings from the Gazette, and it was totally fabricated from the frame up. So it's got a military model's frame. I fabricated the seats and duplicated them in resin.
And you did the figures.
The figures are Arista. They're not my figures. If I was to build it today, they would be all my figures.
Right. I can't get over these locomotives starting life as HO locomotives. I thought I would have sworn these were Bachmann Owen 30 locos.
No, not at all. They're all Mantua HO scale models.
Those were the cast metal ones, weren't they?
Yes.
The good ones back in the day.
Yes,
I remember
they were the premier ones that everybody used.
Back in the day, folks, these Mantuas or Mantua or however it's pronounced. And to take that HO locomotive and to make it look correct for ON 30.
So you have to widen the chassis.
Right.
So you widen the frame, but it uses a Bachmann Forney cab.
Okay. These are, I almost thought these were like Overland brass or the SN3. There was
the side tanks are created out of a piece of wood and then made riveted and made molds of them and made the tanks that way.
This trailing car back here on skids, this is spectacular. And this caboose, tell us about this caboose if we could.
So this is a Deerfield Rivers caboose, and I wanted to have an old, cruddy, dilapidated caboose rather than your typical paint it red.
Right.
Paint it red and make a brown top. I wanted to experiment in being able to weather wood, and that this has cracks and rust.
Beautifully done. Is this driftwood?
This is Deerfield.
Is it Deerfield?
Deerfield's kit.
Oh, really?
This is a kit.
Okay.
But it doesn't. This is more than what the kit looks like.
Right. I love the way you stressed the glass, and you made it appear, like the cracks.
You might find it out in the desert someplace, or in the wild someplace.
The dirt, the correct red color of
Three choices.
the dirt, you know, on the glass.
The patch,
Look at
metal
this.
patches.
Right.
Far, or you can go distance.
Was this a wood kit?
This is a wood kit.
Right. And what color stain? Was it
Oh,
a driftwood?
variety of stains. This is multicolored stains.
Okay.
This is a very thin color stain. So it started out with a gray.
Okay.
Like a very light gray primer.
And you layer the
layers,
colors?
thin layers of color.
Okay.
It could be color green, light color green, gray. It's definitely not just out of the bottle.
Right. It's layered.
Yeah, you don't get this color.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm like, this. It looks like almost 4 different colors.
It's pretty close to 4 or 5 different colors.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what gives it its realism.
Yes.
If it doesn't
Absolutely.
say, and I don't ask him to.
Not unlike this one,
Right.
which is the same situation where
Okay,
you get
wanna
different
just
colors.
Make a pile of them, and
And between
pick 'em for you.
an airbrush or between that and just putting on layers of alcohol stains.
I'll tell you, as a teenager, I met George Celios. I worked with Howard Zane, and George used to always tell me it's kind of hit or miss. Either you knock it out of the ballpark, when
Or
you're
you start
weathering,
all over
or you
again.
start all
All
over
over
again.
again.
And I find that happening to me all the time.
It's to me, it's not so much starting all over again. It's figuring out how to go beyond. Well, I put too much stain on it.
Right.
I solve that problem, and then I go on to the next thing I have to do. So it's not necessarily I have to repaint it,
Right.
because I rarely do that. It's okay, I can solve this problem by doing something different.
I've repainted certain ones 5, 6 times. I'm like, wait a minute now. If I go any more, I'm going to lose the detail.
A little bit at a time. It's hard to take paint off after you
Yes.
put it on.
Yes. And do you have a favorite pastel that you use, pan or any particular one?
I don't have a favorite pastel that I use. I've used the pan pastels.
Okay.
Bragdon. I used the early Bragdon.
Oh yeah, he's the one that told me, Albert, start layering your colors on the rock,
Yeah.
because I used all his rock
I used
castings.
his pastels.
Yeah.
For the rust and that, between adding a little alcohol to them, but his pastels have a little bit of, I want to say, dry glue to them.
Okay.
Because you rub them on, they don't come off.
Right. A lot of people, Howard Zane started pasteling, weathering a lot of my engines, because he doesn't do airbrush that much anymore. And I'm like, it's going to come off. And he goes, no, let it sit for a week or two,
Yeah, and it doesn't
come off.
Yeah.
And
you really can't spray it with a dull coat or
Right.
anything like that, because then
it kills it. It kills it, and you don't need to. I guess we found that as long as the surface is not slick, sometimes we dull coat the surface lightly
To give it some tooth.
to give it a boot, to give it bite,
Yep.
and go from there. And man, I have a fleet of locomotives that this stuff never came off.
Correct.
Well, Les,
Most of this is all airbrushed.
this is beautiful. I really appreciate you taking time and showing me these. These are
Thank you.
just spectacular. Well, let me pause it and get the front of these.
The clipboard.
No,
Well,
he's looking.
Les is
Still haven't gotten mine put on.
just beautiful stuff, folks.
But that was the first time I did it. I did it the other day. I literally.
Now, these aren't really for
Cut the-
sale.
cut the feet
These
loose
are
and this feet
pieces of
loose. I
work
said,
that
you know
Les
what?
built. And, these are not for sale. But it just shows you what can be done with kit bashing and scratch building. Anything.